on now to the staggering new numbers in the coronavirus pandemic. More than 14 million cases worldwide.
More than 77,000 new cases were reported yesterday. That beats the old one-day record by nearly 10,000.
There are more than 3.7 million coronavirus cases in the United States and more than 140,000 Americans dead, and there is no friendly way to say this. This crisis is spiraling out of control.
Pushing an elderly man in a wheelchair, pulled a gun on another shopper after a confrontation that happened over masks. In Utah, there was a county meeting about masks for school children that was adjourned early because the meeting itself was in violation of health guidelines.
We have to be very cautious because there has never been a vaccine against a coronavirus, and there may never be one.
You know what? Let's just start from the beginning.
If I get corona, I get corona.
Like, it's really messing up with my spring break.
There's more serious things out there like hunger and poverty. We need to address that.
I'm glad you guys think it's okay to infringe on people's rights here. You're infringing on people's rights.
Are there words about a pandemic at this point?
No, we're not at all, and we have it totally under control.
A new thing that a lot of people are talking about. Hopefully it won't be as bad as some people think it could be.
Do it, get it out of the way, and let's get past this.
Looks like by April, in theory, when it gets a little warmer, it miraculously goes away. I hope that's true.
Since you guys can't figure out what to do in quarantine, I'm going to give you guys 20 things to do while in quarantine.
There's a lot of us that are at home for the next month or so.
10 different productive things that you can do during quarantine.
How do you go about making money online?
They just announced lockdown starts Tuesday. Guess for how long? 15 days.
Murder hornets? Murder hornets! What?
I want every American to be prepared for the hard days that lie ahead. We're going to go through a very tough 2 weeks.
All right, this is take 5, I think. 5.1. This is exactly what happens when you don't have a script. So, nice, Michael. Hi, I have a confession to make. When this whole pandemic started, I didn't really take it seriously at all. I mean, I thought it was gonna last like a month and that was it.
Are you prepared for a self-quarantine for 2 weeks if you had to?
Quarantining for the next 14 days.
Their 2-week food supply.
So about a month into what I thought was gonna be like a 2-week thing, I started to feel really anxious about everything. And then this whole BLM protest and George Floyd murder, all that stuff came to light here in America, and that just kind of added to everything. With all of this free time stuck at home, I started to feel really uninterested in most of the things that I would typically enjoy doing. Like, I'd play a lot of video games, and I watched a ton, way too much YouTube, just way too much YouTube. And I just started to feel really apathetic towards like everything. Okay, so I saw this thing on Instagram. It was like a tweet, maybe it was on Reddit, I don't really know, they all blend together. But just look at this. It's just so dumb. If you were to ask me what I've been doing these past few months, I don't remember. I it all kind of just blends together. I don't really know. And that's okay. You know, it's kind of just like a bad, a boring, scary, uncertain time for literally everyone. For a lot of us, this like loneliness and isolation brings out a lot of new feelings and experiences that we've never had before, and we're all experiencing it at the same time, yet because we're isolated, also alone. And so it's just kind of weird. Like I have 2 short films that I'm working on right now. One of them might not happen at this point. Well, I was right, because that short film, the bigger one, isn't happening anymore. Here's why. See, I have a history of starting short films and not really finishing them. I get distracted pretty easily. Like, for example, YouTube, because, you know, that's what I'm doing right now. And more recently, I've been trying to take more pictures, which I've never really done before. Visco plug. What you're seeing right now was actually supposed to be my first short film until we rewrote it because our main actor got injured. This is another one that by the time we realized a few shots had gear in the background, it was already winter. This one we tried to get completely shot in one night because it was really short, and by the time we realized that we had a few missing shots, you know, the pandemic hit, and now we're 5 hours away. And this most recent one, by far the biggest project, was canceled a few days ago. I don't even have anything to show for it. We hadn't filmed anything, and we have no photo concepts. In reality, I've only made one short film, and it was really bad. And you know, I go back and forth between thinking I'm terrible at this film stuff and that I could actually be pretty good. But it just feels so pretentious, and you know, with my history, do you know how sad that is? Alright, I'm here, but why does it have to be so hot outside? Dude, it's like almost 90. What? I was thinking 2 things. First of all, I tried to get way out there, but it took me long enough to get way out here, and it's hot outside, so I'm just gonna chill here. Secondly, when my friend and I were writing that second short film and we realized that we probably weren't gonna finish it, I wasn't really that mad. I mean, sure, I was flustered for about 10 minutes, but after that, I was okay. Relieved, even. I felt this pressure to create something that would top my last project, something that would blow my last short film out of the water, while at the same time trying to gain a new skill that would help me with videos and other things like that in the future. Because, I mean, I had all this time on my hands now, so it only made sense, right? I psyched myself out, and now I got nothing to show for it. But that's okay. I have nothing to prove to anyone. I mean, I'm so tired of these motivational influencers that are always talking about the grind. It's more complicated than that. I don't have a movie to show you, and that's okay. I'm feeling better now, and I think I'm finally starting to stop caring about what other people think of me so much and quit playing up this competition just in my head. I enjoyed the process of making these things. And yeah, it's nice when something turns out to be good and the occasional praise I get from it, but it's about the creation of it and the moments that follow it. I need to stop getting in my own way, worrying about when this pandemic will end, where I'll be in 5 years, whether I'll go back to school or end up working at my grocery store job for the rest of my life, which would be terrifying. It's not healthy. It's important to take time to really lean into these emotions you might be feeling right now. Don't feel bad if it's all you're doing. But there comes a point where you have to move on from introspection. It's not a bad thing to be focusing on self-discovery, but I realized that, for me, it had become unhealthy in some ways. I was ready to accept that I was just some crummy guy who didn't follow through on any of his film or likewise ambitions. I had settled for that. I thought it was just some intrinsic characteristic I had. But maybe at some point, growing up becomes less about self-discovery and more about self-creation. But just remember, you don't have to be more productive or be creative and learn new things or start that online business. Right now, you just gotta focus on just chilling out, just remaining calm and focusing on your well-being. It doesn't matter what you do as long as you're okay. There's a lot of smaller things that I've learned during this time, and it's kind of just overall just how lucky I am to be in the position that I am currently in, and I'm really thankful for that. And so I am in a good place, and I hope you are too.
I'm just gonna chill here for a bit. I worked hard to get here. Everything I say is so cringy. I don't know any of that. This is probably just like I'm 14. This is deep. I don't know.